Hi, everyone. Deirdre Morgan here, intuitive and clarity coach, popping in with some quick tips for working with the 7 light frequency this month. There's a lot going on, so let's get started. First off, the tarot card I pulled for the month was the Fool. And the Fool represents that card of trust and not worrying. So if we look at the Fool, he's carelessly carefree, walking off, about to go off the cliff with a rose signifying love in his hand, and all is well with him. And in a sense, this card is so perfect for this month because it's asking us, this is new beginnings. It's new beginnings, a new perspective that you are to take on based on how good you feel in yourself and about yourself. Remember, that's the new definition of power and authority. Feeling good so you manifest and contribute on terms you're happy with. And 7 is a magnificent number for us to have. It's still, it's quiet, it's deep. So we're going to go way down into the unconscious, maybe into your prenatal life, to look at any possible old patterns of behaving and thinking that we really need to shift. And we need to shift because, let's face it, you and I aren't the same people that we were starting 8 months ago. We've all had choices, new challenges, issues to heal, issues to resolve, and most of all, taking that quantum leap into seeing the good, seeing the beautiful, and not keeping that prickly perspective to see what's wrong and what isn't enough or good enough. Okay, 7 just is the number of spiritual integration. And what I mean by that is I use the word spiritual, particularly this month, to mean energy, energetic. Think about it. Thoughts, feelings, they're all energy. It's nothing we see. We just work with it. We feel it. We know it's there. And 7 is the same. Spiritual is that capacity for loving and creating that is within us, which again is energy, all energy, unseen. And this is very important for you and I to remember this month. Why? Because 7 is a magnetic energy. So it draws to you and me what we need in terms of physical, mental, emotional experiences. So you may be asking, because I've really gotten going now, how'd you get to 7? All right, let's back up a minute. You remember I use numerology, this divine science of number, to read the energy of you, me, the universe, whatever. 2024 resonates to an 8. 2 and 2 is 4, plus 4 is 8. Okay, so we say that the field is 8 universal energy this year. Okay, then we are in the 8th month of the calendar year. So we add the 8 and the 8 together, we get a 16. 16 is a number we don't acknowledge per se in numerology. It's a double digit, so we add the factors together by 1 plus 6 equals 7. So what does That's how we got the 7. But we do want to look at that 16 for just a minute, because even though it's not technically recognized in numerology, it is a number that indicates karma, or let's clean it up time. 1, you, I, the individual, singular, okay, standing upright for itself. So 1 recognizes and symbolizes you, the individual, the self. It also recognizes, of course, the divinity, creator source, and the higher frequencies. But keep it simple. 1 is the self. 6, you may remember from last month, is the number of love, self-love. So the hidden message with this 7 is stand on your own, be who you are, be true to yourself, because you love yourself. Those numbers are very active, but they're also very internal. What does that mean? It means that this month is not a month for you to take action and get gung-ho and reach out and put it out there. 7 is really, from my mind only, the number that consolidates integrates all the energy that you are carrying in you, which may have shifted, some may be released and new ones have come in, but it's time to get your act together internally so that you are grounded, you are centered, you are at 0 point, and you feel good, whole and complete within yourself. That's the challenge. That's what it's about this month. So it's exciting. It's an exciting month. Most of the tips I'm about to give you will be questions I'm asking you to give due consideration, give some time and thought. No, have an answer. I don't know is not acceptable, not this month. The universe wants each of us clear on who we have become now, who we are, what we think our purpose is, clarity. And of course, all this takes tremendous strength and courage. So let's face it, thank goodness we have Leo there, roaring like a lion and giving us the strength and courage to commit, to persevere. It is not time to quit on yourself. This is a time for you to be optimistic, stay on track, be firm, and stand up for what you really want. So hopefully these questions will gain you more clarity, a greater sense of direction, knowing that that's all your assignment is for the month in terms of personal growth and evolution. So what kind of questions am I asking you? Well, let's begin. One of the first questions would be, can you be alone and not lonely? Okay. The second question is, am I happy, content being alone? Slight difference, but very important. If you say yes, bon voyage. If you say no, or not quite, or maybe, and maybe is not a great answer, know why you're saying maybe. Because you see, 7 wants you to dig deep and really know yourself. So if you're saying no, then go back and say, where am I still believing I'm not good enough or I'm not enough? That lack mentality that we have all dealt with and we all share, having lived in this 3rd dimensional matrix, has got to be released so that the good and the whole and complete and owning our God self can happen. Another question I'm going to ask you to take some time with is, am I still judging? Am I still into judgment? Or can I and do I stand back, watch people, places, and situations, and observe and be the witness? 7, you see, is known as the sage. Okay. And people who are sages have a detachment about life. They have mastered a greater percent of that ego that's based in fear, and it allows them to be of without engaging in. All right. So you want to say, how am I doing? I'm becoming the sage. Because you see, the sage, the 7, there's a spiritual landmark. It's a very, very high vibration. It's up there, and it's saying to you, make these steps in order to raise your consciousness a notch or two. This is the whole meaning of 7. It's the alpha and the omega of your personal cycle that you've been living in order to gain greater wisdom, a greater perspective, and a greater sense of faith and trust in yourself because you live your truth. So I love it. Another third suggestion I have, or quick tip, is that you check in on your body regularly. And by that, I mean daily. And maybe you need to check in a couple of times a day. That's on you. You'll know what's best for yourself. What's your body saying? What's it doing? What's your energy? EQ, energy, motion. Is it up, down? Just observe it. And if it's not where you want it to be, if it's something you want to change, then say, what do I need to do? This is how we nurture ourselves. This is how we grow. You know, I've learned to be alone and not lonely. I'm comfortable with my aloneness because I appreciate and love myself. But I still need a little more work on this detaching and not getting into a polarized position with things. So, few more questions, because 7 is internal. It's pulling you together. At the end of the month, my prayerful wish is that you feel a whole lot better about yourself and a whole lot more excited about life. Okay? So, more questions, greater clarity. Are you happy with yourself? Are you able to be more open, listening to your heart? Are you also more open to showing up and showing who you are? Are you living your truth? This is key when that 7 number is operating, because 7 is about truth. It is about being authentic and real and claiming your spiritual DNA. We are here to change our perspective or part of us. And this will require strength and courage, because there will be things, people, places, situations coming in to test you and to test your conviction and contest your commitment to being yourself. Okay? Because it's necessary to change patterns which may have created a vicious cycle and are still repeating themselves. That doubt, fear, lack mentality is no longer acceptable. So it's a huge shift for most of us, and we've been doing it gradually. So relax, breathe, take it easy, because you're well on your way. See things in a new way. You'll notice you look at things perhaps a little differently. Okay? And that's because you're coming from a greater sense of wholeness and well-being within yourself. Some of your insecurities, your safety issues are resolved, and you're feeling it in here. So this is figuring out how to move forward, how to create a bigger or better tomorrow. Please do not go to the past and use the past as your marker for your choices now. Leave the past and look to the future. Okay. 7, as I said, is a magnetic energy. So what it requires of us is that we don't act on things. We get things prepared. We make plans. We get things organized. We're lining things up this month for our future, for what we want to do next. So no, there's plenty of action in that. It's just not our Western concept of doing and accomplishing and getting it done. Throw out that honey-do list of getting things done. 7 is about observing, introspecting. It's about gaining a greater sense of coherence within. I just love it. As I've said before, cater to your body. Don't go to the past. Put aside your need to do, accomplish, or reach out. 7's energy is magnetic. That means it attracts what you need and what you are to do for yourself this month. It's an exciting month. It's a month that will perhaps be more quiet. You may have less need to socialize. You may want to read a book or get caught up with this or that. But it's about being on your own, entertaining and being with yourself, and most of all, enjoying yourself. So spend your time prepping and planning and organizing so that you're prepared for September, where we meet up with an 8-month and an 8 universal year. So that's when things begin to pop. So your job, please, in a big general overview sweep question, will you allow this process of claiming your truth, committing to the authentic real you to happen? Will you allow your soul to rise to a new higher frequency? That is truly what all these questions have been about, And believe it or not, it will be very easy for you if you have been developing or have been aware of seeing the good, the beauty in things, rather than looking for what's wrong or what isn't working or what lacks. Because you see, the hidden secret when we stay focused on the good, the true, and the beautiful is that when any negative comes up to deal with, we deal with it naturally. It just bubbles up and we look at it and say, oh, yeah. And those old emotional wounds just release very easily. It's a much kinder process and a faster process than we've known. So please Stand your ground. Be true to yourself. Stay optimistic. Know you'll be tested, so there may be some shadow moments for your strength and your courage to bring in the new, to make the changes you'd like in your life. It is all mental and emotional. You know, in a way, I think Ralph Waldo Emerson said it best, and I'm going to quote him now. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you someone else is the greatest accomplishment of all. Thank you, Ralph. And that basically is what our challenge, our opportunity for spiritual growth and evolution is this month, and I would say for the next few months. Stay strong, stay firm, and stay committed. I love it. Remember, though, it's all about love. Everything else is incidental. So make August a great month for yourself. Live, love, enjoy, and know that September's coming and you will have to rev up and put the new you out there. But for now, just accept and love who you are. And thank you for joining me. I loved having you. I hope this has some benefit or some benefit, some and useful information for you. If you have questions, please text or email me. My e-address is deirdresinsights@gmail.com. You can go on my website, deirdresinsights.com, for more information about all that I do, because I am a licensed coach. I have my ministerial degrees in interpersonal counseling and healing arts, alternative healing. And I'd love to see and hear from you. Love to assist you in working through any issues that may be stubborn, because now is the hour to get this done. Now is the hour to get grounded. And just remember, I love you. Take care. Have a great month. And I'll see you in September.